Yo, I like Dietrich. I think it's a really, sometimes when he be talking, the way he was just like when he was in the spice shop with Tress, yo, the one thing you don't want to do is use artificial vanilla. And Tress, trying to be encouraging to her man, was like, oh, why is that? Because, you know, they be taking out a beaver's anus glands and you don't want any of that. And Tress, oh, the anal glands? Well, thanks for telling me. Yeah, you don't want none of that. Yo, Dietrich. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Got my handy dandy notebook. You know what that means. It is time for the Ready for Love season 4, episode 5, review, recap, reaction, whatever you want to call it. And let's get deep down into their psyches too. All right. Now, it starts off by him calling all the boys in. There was an elimination. Thank God they just got rid of Troy. Troy was so yucky to me. I wondered how he got so far. Even the one guy that was eliminated, the mailman, I actually thought he was a really nice guy, right? But Troy was always on some Simon from Real Housewives of Atlanta mess, where he was like, he would meet you, or they'd be having drinks, and he's like, oh, this is a nice day, and they'd be like, oh, thank you, and he's like, you know what, I like nice days in the Caribbean, you, me, sipping a pina colada, you want to go on vacation next week, do you? He always gave me creepy vibes. He was always throwing vacations and money, almost like he's used to dealing with like very, very young people that are impressed with the money, but part of the reason they've been impressed with the money is because it's like a whole new world that you're opening for me, when really you're just taking me to Sandals all-inclusive resort where we both flew for $8.99 together, including all you can eat. No shade to Sandals, you know, but I'm just saying those are the vibes he give me. Like, I don't know, I just don't like that. Anyway, they're like, listen, we're having a masquerade ball because we want to make sure people can move in any circle. The boys are like, all right, I got you. So they go break, right? Dress to impress. Then we get to the first of the dates, right? We have AJ and Kara. They're skating around. It's a cute date. I really can't think whether AJ really likes Kara or whether, because I don't honestly think AJ likes too many women there. Now, here's my point. I'm not saying he's not attracted to him, but I just don't see AJ sparks flying with everyone. It always feels like he's faking it to make it because he wants to win this show. I know a lot of you guys disagree, right? But I just feel like there's no connection with him with anybody, at least not yet, right? They're with Kara, and you know, she's saying that like when AJ lets his persona down, his ego down, they really, really vibe. Just like that first date. I remember she talked about the first date where he like left, didn't pay the bill, and like, you know, whatever else, right? But honestly, you know what that made me think? And this is what Kara keeps overlooking. It's not the fact that he did that because he was broke, right? I mean, yeah, being broke's a problem, right? But that's not really, in my mind, the problem. The problem is that this is the way he reacted to it. You know, in life, there's always going to be times we don't measure up. There's always going to be times somebody can't give you what you want. So it makes me think, how can I build with someone where you're embarrassed, when you're ashamed, when something happens, you flee and you run, and you really don't care about the way it makes the other person feel. Now, I know y'all going to be like, it was a first date, calm down. I know it was the first date. But those type of personality traits, unless there's some serious self-worth or some serious maturity, I don't think they change. Because even though it was the first date, he still could have called her up later. And if he didn't want to explain, because I wouldn't tell somebody, listen, I did it because they broke. I wouldn't tell somebody that. So I get the pride, but to the point, you could have invited her out on a date you could have afforded. You could have, you know, he just completely ghosted and disappeared, which makes me think, did he just make that story up about actually being break and his car declining, and that's why he didn't actually call her back? Because if it shamed you that much that your car was declined, why would you admit that on national TV? I don't know, something's not adding up. But you know, Kara's like, I really like the way the person he is, which brings me to my other point about Kara, which he's not really looking out for with AJ. When someone's ego is so big and they've wrapped that ego enough to protect themselves from the world, you're trying to connect with their only child, and their only child is in solitary confinement because they don't want that side to come out. They are now with the ego. But anyway, I'm still on the fence about whether AJ's being sincere or not. But let's move on, right? Then we go to we go to Alexis and we go to Jason, right? I say Kira because that's Jason's boo, right? And that does look like more Jason's feed. But, she's skating around, and Alexis looks like, always whenever I saw Alexis and Jason always looked like Alexis's son to me for some reason. I don't know if it's her mannerisms. I don't know if the way she's always pulling around. I don't know if she's like, what's up? You like me? You like this? You like this? You want that? I don't know what it is, but they give me like, she's just always sunning him, right? It looks like he is her oldest child. So she's like, what's up? Like, do you like this? And to his points, because that's the thing about Jason. I feel like he's actually in this to win this. Unlike AJ, where I doubt whether he actually wants to fall in love as opposed to win the contest, Jason seems like he's really trying to make a connection. He's really trying to fall in love, and he wants to make a connection with Kira, right? But back to my point, to Jason's credit, he was like, I gotta be honest with you, I'm having trouble seeing you out of the mom role. And Kira's like, all right, cool, even though she is disappointed. That was very mature, the way they both handled it. Jason just wasn't feeling Alexis. There is something in Alexis' mannerisms that just throw him off. Or maybe that's why I see that mother-child dynamic, because she makes him feel like, he's a little kid. But he was like, let her down easy. No, I just can't see you in the mom role. And she took it in stride, all right, cool. I'm disappointed, but thank you for telling me. I really, really like that. And it makes me feel like both Alexis and Jason, even though it's not with the other, they actually are looking for a real connection. It's not just a game. I mean, of course, everybody wants to win, but yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so sorry guys, let me get comfortable. So next we gotta get into Ron and Stacy. Okay, there's something wrong with Ron, and I'm gonna tell you why. So they go on the date with Stacy, right? And he's like, I heard Stacy likes seafood and champagne. So he has salmon and champagne. Is it just me, or when I hear seafood, I don't think salmon, that's fish. When I hear seafood, you better have some crabs. I want to see some lobster. You can even throw some shell on shrimp in there. And especially being from New Orleans Creole, but I digress. Maybe that is. Because if somebody's like, I made you your favorite seafood, and I see some pan-roasted salmon, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, right? But they're smiling, they're laughing, they're vibing, and they look into finding, she's talking about she's really there to find a partner. She's ready to love. Her 3 kids are rooting for her. Yay. Then she talks about her friendship with Chrysanthemum, or we'll call it Chris. Her relationship with Chrysanthemum, I don't think I'm pronouncing her name right, but I'm gonna call her Chrysanthemum. Her relationship with Chrysanthemum and how they're really, really best of buddies. So then she says, and Ron's like, yeah, a little weird, right? So then she says to Ron, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. She said, well, listen, I was speaking to Chrysanthemum. I was at her house, and we both have an interest in you, right? So I'm just wondering where everything lies. Automatically, Ron gets so shifty and so evasive, and to me, from what I know of men, so resentful and passive, aggressive, hostile. You ladies, I know it's subtle, but I'm telling you, that passive, aggressive, hostile energy really threw me off. And he was being passive, aggressive, hostile for something that Stacy had the right to ask him. Now let's just suppose that between Jason and Alexis. Alexis asks because we are on a show and nobody wants to end up like the way Chris ended up in season 3, where he wasted his time on someone that was either spinning his wheels or not really not really involved with him. So again, we are on a show. Why would I waste my time chasing you down if you don't even see me between me and a girl I'm cool with? Let's not forget, in real life, I don't know what y'all do, right? I don't know if y'all are the Porsches and the Phelan's of the world, but like I've never, and I know I will not be comfortable dating somebody that is also dating one of my friends, or dating someone that's interested in my friend, or that one of my friends are interested in. There are too many men out there. Why go through the hassle? So I feel like she had the right to ask, right? And when she asked, he was like, well, hemming, hawing, all this stuff, not because he was trying to save her feelings, but because he didn't want to lose. He's looking at all of them as assets. He's very focused on himself, and he's thinking about what's best for him without focusing on anybody else's feelings or considerations. You can say that's fine on him, and maybe that is life. But I'll tell you one thing, to me, that makes you ultimately less attractive. You know what I'm saying? Just really, really, really less attractive. So, what else? Oh, so anyway, he's getting super evasive. That hostile, passive aggressive energy is coming out. I don't like passive aggressive people, but that's my personality. I like it when people meet me head on, whether I like it or not, But he said he has a better connection with Chrysanthemum. That's fine. And she's like, oh, all right. So he let her know, but he was angry at her that she asked, I feel in a nice way, about where he stood. It was just weird aggression. Then we go over to Chris and Amber. Speaking about Chris, right? I thought that scene with them was so cute. Now, I thought it was cute. Granted, I would be down to do something like that if I liked you. If I didn't like you and you tried to take me to go meditate on the lawn at 6 a.m, boy, get out of my face. Get out of my face. But if I liked you, I would 100% like to spend time, see where your mind's at, see what's going on, right? So they're doing their mantras. I am strong. I am loved. But it's a good time. And that's one thing I will say about Amber. And I heard a lot of people, because I've been in people's comments and other reviews about why Amber say that she didn't care about marriage when she cares about marriage. You know what I see with Amber? Amber is a prosecutor. She obviously went to law school. She obviously is a type A personality. She obviously is very, very insightful, and she naturally doesn't trust people, right? When Amber said she wanted to get married, follow me out on this, I feel like Amber was just looking for indicators and markers about whether you would be a good mate. If I don't know your intentions, whether you're going to be serious or not with me, what's the quickest way to tell if you're serious? Oh, is there a ring on my finger? Are we exclusive? Are we married? However, there is something about Chris. He could turn out to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but there is something about Chris right now that comes across as like uber genuine. So because she knows clearly, or at least trusts her instincts, where Chris's intentions lie, right? It makes her less needy of marriage. Now, to Chris's point, right? He did say, if you want to get married, we can get married. So that's another thing. With Alexis and her with Amber and her type A personality, Chris let her know, you have the control. If this is what you desire, you shall have it. If this is the person I'm with. However, if left to my own devices, I don't think it's a big deal. And for Amber, that hit all the boxes. I also feel that with Amber, one of the other reasons why she really, really likes Chris is because Amber, to me, is a very feminine woman, but a strong woman in the way that she has no problem resting in someone's masculine, but you need to get masculine energy. And a lot of times these little boys think that masculine energy is like, yeah, some Kevin who told me Kevin, one of my commenters, Kevin Kittenhill Samuels. A lot of times people confuse Kevin Kittenhill Samuels as masculinity, right? When masculinity really is being nurturing, being protective, being guiding, but also that soothing light. So she puts such a strong aura of protection and calmness around her that she feels completely comfortable to rest in his masculine. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. But anyway, okay. Now we're at these salsa lessons. Ron is the instructor, right? I'm telling y'all, Ron is giving me red flags. Ron is at the, doing the salsa, a cute idea, wanted to make sure everybody had time to touch and hug and rub and see everybody, Chrysanthemum walks in, Ron's face drops to the ground. She's like, eyes, lips, face, right? She's giving it, right? So while they're dancing, right, Chrysanthemum again brings up something with Alexis. When Alexis is at the table, and she was like, well, Ron said I was his first choice, right? So she asked Ron, what's going on? Like, I heard something from Alexis. So then Ron again, anger erupts in his face, and then just that quick, he goes back to this, anger erupts in his face, and he's like, listen, I'm still deciding, I'm still this, I'm still that, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And Chrysanthemum, of course, is thrown off because this is what makes me think that Ron is running game. This is a game. He's mad that the girls won't be 1, 2, and 3, with Alexis being his number 1 for now, right? We'll see in future episodes. He wants these girls to wait in place, so if one doesn't work off Alexa, he can go to Chrysanthemum. If it doesn't work with Chrysanthemum, he can move to Stacy. That is his plan. He is enraged, and he lets us know through his thing where he was like, she didn't even care about my feelings. It was just about her and her ego. Where Chrysanthemum chooses to spend her time and wants to know where she stands for her life and how she puts her energy is about her and her ego. This was a really big look into Ron's psyche. Ron is selfish. He is all about him. And he's passive aggressive and easily angered too. I don't know. Ron has a lot of growing up to do. He just has a lot of growing up to do. Anyway, Chrysanthemum did what I would have did. Like, wait, you're telling me that you prefer another woman over me, and we're in this house to choose love? I don't care what anybody says. When you click with somebody, you click, right? If you can be persuaded, if somebody else can catch your eye, then whatever you saw in me wasn't really something that you saw lasting forever. It was just something that kind of, it's like when you read those books like The Rules and like Men Are From Mars or like a Kevin Samuels thing. They tell you all these tricks to play with someone's mind or to keep them in a state of stress. But when and those work for a while, but the problem is when somebody comes back to their natural equilibrium and gets comfortable with you, that's when they remember, wait, I didn't really like you that much, right? You cannot keep somebody in a constant state of stress forever. Anyway, also he put Joel and Vernisha in their own room. Joel, I will say, has that charming, low accent. His accent's super, super charming. I have a thing for accents, whether it's American or overseas, but his accent is super, super charming. They're with Vernisha. I don't know if they're going to make it because low-key, they seem to have like a low simmer, right? They weren't the pots that were boiling like Alexis and Ron and this and that, right? But they had this low simmer that I think might actually, there is an easiness to it, but there's also that flirty edge too. So they actually might make it, right? Then they put Tress in the room with Dietrich and they're dancing and it's fine. Let me tell you my opinion of Tress and Dietrich, right? One, so they're at the spice, let me set it up. They're at the spice shop, they're shopping, this and that. Dietrich's body language is very much like this. But here's the thing I think about Dietrich. It's not because he's not attracted to Tress. It's not. It's the fact that I actually think he's a good dude and he actually doesn't want to hurt Tress. He's actually attracted to Tress. He said that the first time. He's the reason he got saved. But let me tell you something about men, which is, in my opinion, none of these men are ready for love because they still think like little boys, right? Tress, when all the boys were talking about, oh, look at my shiny toy, look at you see that. She ranked very low with the men, right? Because she ranked very, very low with the men, she wasn't a prize. Y'all, never sleep on the fact that people like prizes, people like trophies, men like prizes, men like trophies. It's the way they're socialized in this patriarchal society. She was ranked very low. So he didn't want to be the one that was like, oh, but did you see my prize? And everybody's just like, man, get out of here. That ain't a prize. So she already lost points for that. But let me tell you where the sexual attraction just fizzled to nothing. Because he was attracted to her. He was attracted to her body. And I don't know why everybody is asking why acting like Tress is an extra on my 600-pound life. She has a nice body. She has a gorgeous face. She has beautiful style. She has a great personality. But you know what? Even the things she say, follow me on this, very defeatist. You know, the way she's like, you know, a lot of men don't want to be with fuller women. They're just here, they'll sleep with us, but they don't want to pursue a relationship with us. Tressa, what is you saying, baby? What are you saying? So now this man, which is like most men who are obsessed with social standing, what their mate brings, right? Not only do they not see you in prize, but if you would come through the door swinging and been like, baby, let me tell you, I am the prize. I am the prize. It would have at least upped your value in Dietrich's eyes. But now you're in front of Dietrich, and Dietrich is already like, yo, I know that me and my friends would look at Tress like, yo, she's decent, right? She's a nice looking woman, curvy, hips, thighs, eyes, lips, face. But these boys right now that I need to impress are saying she's not anything, right? I don't know, Tressa, what you think? And then Tressa's over to the side on like, yeah, you know, a lot of men, like, they say they'll sleep with me, but they won't show me off. A lot of men are afraid to love a fuller figured woman. She's literally solidifying to Dietrich, you are not a prize, not only because of what they say, but you are not a prize because you're telling me that you're not a prize, and you're telling me that you had men treating you like that. Tressa. I actually want to become a dating coach for her. First of all, girl, who told you were ugly? Who told you that you were like Princess Fiona after she kissed Shrek? Who told you this, baby? Like, who? I want to sit her down and just slap it out of you. Like, you have been brainwashed by who? I don't know, but it's odd seeing someone that when she walked on the street, I was like, yo, Tressa is big. And even everybody calling her a big, beautiful woman. Tressa is not big. She's curvy, definitely. Ashley Graham curvy, right? But honestly, what are you, Tressa? Size 12? Really, Tressa? No, girl, no. And you got a nice shape. Anyway, that's the problem with her and Dietrich. So when Dietrich was sitting there, it's not the fact that in my opinion, just from what I see from the past episodes, it's not the fact that Dietrich wasn't sexually attracted to her. It's the fact that Dietrich actually has a good heart. And Dietrich is not going to play around with this woman just for the sake of playing around. He's not a Ron. He's not a Troy, right? He's not going to play around just for the sake of playing around because he does like her. He sees her as a friend and he does respect her, you know? But God, Tress, that's that thing of like, why can't your own... When you literally shoot yourself in the foot. Now, there's arguments to be made if Dietrich is not man enough to be like, well, bunk that. I don't care what these men say. I'm going to go with what I want. But, you know, sometimes when people are waffling, like, I don't know, are you a prize? Which is something men worry about. And you're just like, no. Matter of fact, people hide me, right? And I want to know you're not going to hide me. And Dietrich is just like, okay, well, here's your Indian spice satchel. Thank you very much. I'll see you. Okay, bye, big homie. And then he was out. All right, okay, so we get to the masquerade ball. Listen, Liz showed out. I mean, I don't understand when men, they really act like you are a superhero if you have like your regular clothes on and then you come out with everything displayed. They're like, oh my God, who is that, Liz? Liz was always a gorgeous girl. She looked gorgeous. David's mouth dropped everybody's mouth dropped on the floor. That cutout she had, them things was banging, right? And you can tell David really, really likes Liz, because you know when a guy really likes you, they make like really odd compliments, but not to you, but when they're talking about you. The way he's like, dress was on point, hair was on point, earrings was on point. Boy, you even noticed her earrings. Yeah, you like this woman up, down, all around, right? And then Jason sees Liz and was like, nice, right? Jason and Liz, I think, connect on the fact of, I like her and David, but for some reason I see her and Jason lasting. Liz seems like she's a very genuine person with a very soft, gentle soul. And after all the trouble that Jason has had with women cheating on him and But I don't think it's anything with Jason. I think that Jason actually has a soft, gentle soul too. He's a man, but I feel like he has like a very soft, gentle soul too. And that's why he didn't even see like the horrors of the people that he was dating, because in his mind, he was like, who would cheat on somebody with my friend? So I feel like that gentleness actually connects. And I actually like when two people with gentle souls and kind of like very spiritual softness get together, because I think it makes a really good union. So I like her and David, but I'm rooting for her and Jason, right? Jason, please don't disappoint me. Please don't do any F-boy stuff. Jason, please, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you, right? Then we get to frickin' Frack, like everyone's taught, with Stacy and Chrysanthemum. Y'all, do you know the problem everybody has with frickin' Frack? They have it with frickin' Frack that most of those guys are running game on most of the women, right? They are. Men run game all the time. They have no problem dating multiple people. They have no problem stringing people along. The only thing is, right, because frickin' Frack talk all the time, you can't string them along. And they want to string both of them along. So they're annoyed that they can't string along. That's the real issue with frickin' Frack. Because if frickin' Frack was two Porsches, you better believe they would have no problem with it. They would love it. If anything, they would have plans to see if they can get them both together in their bed at the same time. But they know it's not going down like that. So now they're just like, this is annoyance, you know? Yo, I didn't like that. But then we see Stacy go, so Ron is looking at Chrysanthemum, I think, talk to AJ. And then we see the most interesting piece of psychological play that I've seen on this show. Stacy settles up. You know, she symbols up like she's not Mustafa, but Scar, talking to Simba. Hello, Simba, right? And she's like, hey, Ron, you know. So Ron's looking. And then Stacy starts her psycho warfare, where she was like, listen, if you want her, you need to go get her. You're an alpha male, right? Go get her. Ron immediately, because Stacy does read Ron. Ron is passive aggressive, but I don't think she realizes the extent of his resentment of passive aggressive, right? So Ron immediately feels punked, because Ron, in his reaction to me, made it seem like he was looking like, yo, why don't I just go interrupt? Why don't I just go do something? Why? Because it was really hurting him seeing Chrysanthemum laughing and joking and whatever with AJ, right? So Ron's immediately mad because I feel like a punk. You call me a punk, and now I think everybody sees me being a punk. I actually don't like Ron, even for Alexis, and I'll get into that why, right? So, but also Ron's such a little insecure person inside that he didn't even realize the psychological play that Stacy was really making. Stacy, because Chrysanthemum is her girl, couldn't be like, yo, like she a hoe, watch out for her. I'm the good girl. I'm the one you should pick, because that's her girl. So what did she do? She did little sly underhanded comments like, yo, I guess she's popular, you know, but if you want her, go get her. Trying to show to Ron, Chrysanthemum doesn't even like you like that. I'm the safer bet. And if you had a brain, you should actually, because at the end of the day, Stacy, I talk about people being immature. Let me call Stacy to the carpet. Stacy couldn't admit to herself that she liked Ron enough, right, to actually say, okay, fine, I'll wait till you make up your mind. Partly because Stacy's no fool. If you're competing between me and my friend and you're in Alexis's face, most likely you're not feeling me. But Stacy is not going to bring herself to be like, no, but I'm still interested and I'm going to see if you can pursue me. So she's trying to go to Ron into being turned off of Chrysanthemum while keeping Chrysanthemum's friendship and trying to redirect his attention to her as the better choice, right? Even the way she's like, you know, because go get her. Because I'll just be a fly on the wall, letting her know, like, hey, if you want her, I'm rooting for you. But if you decide that she's, you know, for the streets, I'm right here too. Because don't forget, I'm for you, right? She's for the streets, I'm for you. Yeah, it blew up. Ron did not appreciate that. But Stacy, I saw what she was trying to do. Stacy, you shouldn't even have been doing that. Ron didn't appreciate it. It got him so angry. But again, Ron has a problem with his, I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to figure out. Ron has a problem with his anger. He has a problem with his passive aggressiveness. He has a problem with his insecurity and self-esteem. So then Alexis walks up, right? Again, I don't think that, we'll see if Ron and Alexis end up together. I don't think that they should, because Alexis walks up, right? And he's in the middle of talking to Chrysanthemum. And as soon as Alexis walks up, he doesn't even say bye. He just leaves her and goes and talks to Alexis. Now let's talk about why Ron did this. And then I was like, yo, Ron is an F-boy. Stay away from him. One, as Chrysanthemum was walking up, there were other men looking at Alexis. Now they were looking at, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Chrysanthemum was already sitting there talking to Ron, and the boys were looking at Chrysanthemum, right? Ron was doing it for Chrysanthemum, but he was also doing it to the boys like, yeah, y'all like this? Y'all like this? Yeah, look, it's mine. Then Alexis runs up, right? And she walks up, and all the men's attention, because Chrysanthemum is, you know, being occupied, they turn to Alexis, vision in white, gliding through like the Lady of the Lake. At that point, two things happened. Ron saw the other boys see a new shiny toy, and he's like, no, that's mine too. Ron is greedy. Ron is self-centered. Ron wants everybody just to have, because it builds his ego up, and he needs that because he's insecure. So he ran over to Alexis because he wanted to let the boys know, no, this is mine too. I got all the toys, mine. But also, think back to when Chrysanthemum was in AJ's face, right? How mad Ron got, how little Ron got, how small Ron got, right? How small he felt. Okay, now Alexis, it's Ron's turn to make Alexis feel stupid. It's Ron's turn to make Chrysanthemum feel stupid. It's Ron's turn to make Chrysanthemum feel small. It's Ron's turn to put Chrysanthemum in her place the way he felt, and he thought when he was looking at her that he thought that Chrysanthemum was trying to put him in her place. Y'all, Ron is dangerous. He really is. He is not ready for love. He is not ready for a relationship. Like, he's just like, he's not ready for any of that. And I don't care what anybody says. He's not ready for any of that. Now, also, you know why? Because even if that is what Chrysanthemum was doing, which I think she was just, or maybe she was trying to make him jealous. I don't know. But even if she was, underline that shit about where your intentions lied and how you were being petty for the sake of being petty, because how much it hurt you, and because you couldn't be a man and go claim or interrupt the conversation because you felt insecure, you punished Chrysanthemum. By the way, when she was talking, you didn't even say bye. You just walked off mid-conversation. That was some ignorant stuff. You guys, I hope Alexis doesn't end up with Ron, because no, Ron's not ready to love. Ron and Troy, right, were on the same level, and they should both be eliminated. I hope they do, right? Let's see, Dietrich. Yo, I like Dietrich. I think it's a really, sometimes when he be talking, the way he was just like when he was in the spice shop with Tress, yo, the one thing you don't want to do is use artificial vanilla. And Tress, trying to be encouraging to her man, was like, oh, why is that? Because, you know, they be taking out a beaver's anus glands, and you don't want any of that. And Tress, oh, the anal glands? Well, thanks for telling me. Yeah, you don't want none of that. Yo, Dietrich, even at the party when and that's another thing, Stacy was drunk the whole night at the party. You see that Stacy has social anxiety. So I don't even hold half the shit she was saying against her, because she, to me, even though she wasn't falling, she looked like she was a second away to me from falling down drunk. Stacy was blasted at that party, right? So Dietrich was talking to Tommy about like, yo, cause you know, they freaking Frack, they be together. You can't separate them cause they are always together. That's why we be calling them no, let me stop. He wasn't doing that, but he's like, yo, what's your thing about Stacy and Chrysanthemum? You know, they always together. And Dietrich was like, yeah, that's why we call them freaking Frack, cause they always together. They always together. And Tommy's like, thank you, Dietrich. Dietrich, I love him, but yo, that was just funny to me. Every time he delivers his lines, I'm just like, okay, Dietrich, right? Then Alexis comes, right? And Alexis walks up to Stacy. And this is when I saw that walks up to Ron, you know, when they're having that conversation. Let's zoom back to the conversation. This will make me think for a second, but maybe Alexis can handle Ron, because Alexis does the same thing as Ron, real passive aggressive, right? But she gets her stings in, right? She knows how to handle Ron, where she asked about like, what's going on with you and Stacy, what's going on with you and Chrysanthemum, right? And Ron was like, usually with the other two girls, he got mad, but Alexis was able to spin it so that Ron's ego didn't get hurt. Alexis senses that fragile ego Ron has, and she knows how to work around it. Could you see the way she said, you know, because Stacy was telling me, not I want to know, not, well, you tell me, but no, because it was just crazy because Stacy was saying this, and Stacy, and I just don't know what to think. She kept redirecting to Stacy so Ron couldn't get mad at her. The anger just flowed into Stacy, like, what's Stacy doing talking about me? What's Chrysanthemum doing talking about me, right? And she's like, you know, and she made it seem like this and that, and I was just really confused. And then he was like, you know, hopefully it'll get better, but if not, it will just stay surface level like it is now. And Alexis was like, Anna, oop, right? Alexis knows how to handle Ron's sensitive ego and his fragile ego and his passive aggressive. Would it be me with the man that's that passive aggressive? No, but she knows how to handle him. She took all that anger that all the girls got for asking what they wanted and deflected. So it literally went to Stacy and it literally went to Chrysanthemum. Okay, so then Jason and Liz go for a sit down. He pulls her aside and he's like, y'all, I want to talk to you. Let's sit down. Let's see what's going on. And you see that connection. There's a softness there that I like. And I feel like Liz and David look really good together. I do. I think they like look really good together. But the more I was watching Jason and Liz, they look better too. But also to the fact of there is this vulnerability and softness and that's what it is, earnestness and genuineness that I get from Liz and Jason that I just want to see grow. This is the one time I don't know who I'm rooting for, you know? I just want to see that genuineness grow. It's something really special. Okay. So then, you know, they bring the boys back in and we see where alliances are. I didn't see who Jason's number one pick was, but so far for this week, AJ wants Kyra, Chris wants Amber, David wants Liz, Joel wants Vernisha, Ron wants Alexis, and Jason, I didn't catch who Jason wanted. Liz, low-key, right? But anyway, or maybe it was Kyra. Yeah, Jason wants Kyra. He already said that a million times, right? So Jason wants Kyra. The thing is, Liz wants Jason at least a little bit. She's curious about them. I hope that happens, right? So then we see the revenge of a passive-aggressive man come out. Ron, when they're like, well, who do you think was like Stacy, because she's aggressive. I don't like that, this and that. And all the boys are talking about how Stacy's aggressive. They don't like freaking Frack. They haven't got, it's all bullshit. It's misogynist bullshit. It was actually making me mad because, well, we'll get to that. But you guys already watched it, so I'll let you know. So anyway, then they talk about Tress saying, oh, she's like the homie, but there's no conversation. Again, masculinity. You don't think she's a prize. You don't think she's a prize. Get out of here. Because Tessa's cute. She has a nice shape. I mean, come on. Honestly, if y'all, I'm not even going to start talking about the women's looks, but if you like some, why don't you like the other? It's all internalized masculine patriarchy, right? So then they decide that they say that one person has to be cut. So you see David going out on a date with Stacy, and then you see Dietrich on a date with Tess. So I'm just like, who's going to get eliminated? Who's going to get eliminated? David starts talking to Stacy saying, you know, it's been hard to know you, this and that, this, that, and the third, because that we think right now you're not ready for love. Now, my heart did break for David because he looked like he really didn't enjoy it, right? If they would have got some real TV, they would have put Ron in there because Ron would have been like, the minute she's like, hey, Ron, you're not ready for love. Get out of here. Nobody wants you. Skedaddle. Beat it. Bye. Go kick rocks, kid. That's what Ron would have been doing, right? If they had given him the opportunity. So then this is the part that's like really sick because I was like, what is it about these men that you didn't see her as worthy of having feelings until she broke down crying? She didn't do anything worse than what anybody else did, right? But the fact that it was just weird. We're like, oh, now I see her vulnerable. What? Now she has more thing. Why the fuck did you guys need to humble this woman? What came from it? I don't even want to get into that, but I just didn't like it. I do agree with her when she was like, yo, like, I feel bamboozled, cheated. But do you know why? Because for all these men talking about the flaws they see in her, not one person had the balls or cared enough about her to actually say something. you know? And you can see by Stacy being a direct person that she feels if you care about me, if you're there for me, right? Then she's going to be straight with you, and she appreciates when people are straight with her. I think that was the biggest thing of disrespect. So then we go over to Dietrich and Tress. They're sitting there, and then Dietrich can't even do it. He's like, man, don't look at me like that. And this is where the shocker comes, when he was like, yo, I'll just be straight with you. They don't think you're ready for love. And Tress is so hurt. And she's like, I believe my king's here, and that's good. It's just not there. But yo, Tress, I really want to give her a hug and talk. It's like, Tress, who told you you were ugly? Who told you you were at the bottom of the pile? Who told you you were undesirable? I hope her mentions are being flooded with men that's just like, yo, you look good to me, because she needs that. But I feel like because she has this narrative, she's going to gravitate to men and almost make excuses for being there, making excuses for her weight, for her hair, for her personality. She's just going to keep making excuses when there is no excuse. It's a gift. Then, you know, we see the preview for the next episode. I know y'all waiting for that. I don't know why it took a week later, but the next episode that I am going to review on time, you know, they're going on dates with anybody but their first choice. So hopefully this week, there's a shakeup of alliances, and there's a little bit of juiciness in that, right? Liz gets her wish. She's going out with Jason. I hope they connect. What's her name? Kissed that guy on AJ on the cheek. Who knows what's going on with that? AJ is not for that girl. That girl is that girl. Why do I keep calling her that girl? Let me get her name. Why did I forget her name that quick? AJ is not for Amber. Again, we saw with Jason, when the going gets tough, he gets going, right? He skedaddles and he hides. And Amber needs somebody that is strong with very masculine energy, but also that masculine energy that calms, that stands the ground, that if there is a tidal wave coming, you stand your ground. And you might be on some The Last Airbender shit, like with the tidal wave, but you still stand your ground, which is AJ will be running and screaming and whatever. So I don't know if that's a good fit. Yeah, so let's see how things shake up, and let's see what happens with Chrysanthemum and Alexis and who they actually end up with. I'm interested to see. I do think Dietrich and Bernicia are probably going to make it to the end. They might be the last people. Don't sleep on that slow summer. All right, you guys, if you guys got this far, make sure you like, comment, but more importantly, can you guys subscribe? I really enjoyed the love that you guys been showing me, and I want to make more videos. And when you subscribe, it helps me, gives me the motivation to make more videos, but it also encourages me, you know, your girl is, you know, doing this as best she can. And also, if you guys can like, it really helps the algorithm. Do what you want, but I appreciate you coming to join me. All right, I'll see you, I guess, tomorrow for the next review. Bye.